if you want to save lives, the local actors need to be part of the discussion. For example, if you want to evacuate people, are there drills, practices where they do that? Are local schools teaching disaster preparedness so that children and teachers know what to do? Are the early warning systems reaching local communities? Are people living with disabilities being reached as well, elderly and others? So they're really fundamental elements just of the immediate emergency response. They're also really critical elements of building resilience over the longer term, embedding risk in planning. For example, local zoning, are people building structures in areas that are vulnerable to storm surge, for example? Are they the tourism industry? All disasters strike in communities, local communities fundamentally. And so if you design plans top down, you end up with the wrong plan for the wrong people. And it has to be a combination of top down and bottom up. The main reason, there are two reasons the costs of these disasters are going up. The first is that there's economic development happening that is not informed by the disaster risk. For example, building a hospital in a flood zone instead of another place where it is not vulnerable to floods. The cost could be exactly the same for both of those. If you understand risk, you don't build in a flood zone. And development is increasingly happening in ways that aren't aware of the risk. The second reason is climate change, because not only is this unplanned, unrisk-informed development happening, but it's happening at a time when the planet's warming and the hazards are increasing in severity and frequency. Over the next few decades, there will be something like $50 trillion invested in infrastructure. And again, if that is poorly risk-informed, it will result in huge escalating costs of disasters. Well, something like 80% of that investment is private sector investment, not public sector. So the private sector has an absolutely fundamental role to play in building resilience of its own investments.